Alrighty, good morning to you all. Happy Wednesday, February 19th, 2025. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Boy, did we have a lot of snow in the Ohio Valley, Kentucky, and Missouri valleys last night. We ended up getting about 6 inches of snow here in Western Kentucky last night. I was posting some pictures on social media talking about all that. So that was a lot of fun. Went out there, got the yard and road scraped this morning so that way we could get out. Other than that, guys, if you get snow, make sure you guys get out there and enjoy it. We do still have snow falling across portions of Virginia, West Virginia, and North Carolina this morning, as we are going to actually see some pretty historic snow over near the Virginia Beach area, where we could see double-digit numbers that could exceed some pretty decent totals there. We could be looking at 10 to 12 inches of snow if some heavy banding does set up, and we'll get to that here in just a second. We've also got another system up here in the West Pacific ongoing with showers and snow and rain showers ongoing up in Seattle, Portland, and then snow showers up in those higher elevations as well. Mostly across the board now. Quiet, not going to be expecting anything here really over the next couple of days. We're really not going to be having any big time major systems, at least as of right now, for the next couple of days after this one moves through. We're really going to be talking about a very, very cold Arctic plunge that will be in place for the next couple of days as well, at least through next Monday, before things really start to warm up and get going here. But I do want to focus on here what's ongoing in North Carolina, Virginia, and West Virginia here, where we do have some heavy band snowing working its way into Virginia Beach this afternoon. Most of the snow wrapping up for eastern Kentucky, western North Carolina. There will be some potential for some northwesterly flowing snow behind our low pressure system. This typically happens a lot when you get into the Appalachian Mountains. But most of this falling as rain down into South Carolina, into Florida, into portions of Georgia here. Not going to be expecting any snow down there. Now, there will be a transition where we could see some ice south of Greenville, North Carolina there, Fayetteville, Wilmington, maybe even in the northeastern portions of South Carolina here. So just be mindful if you do see some of that freezing rain ice accumulation. It can cause some damaging issues as far as power lines and tree branches falling goes. So just be very mindful of that. But our heaviest snowfall is going to be more than likely in Virginia Beach, between Virginia Beach, Kitty Hawk, and in that northeastern quadrant there of North Carolina. So we'll get to those. Go ahead and get to those snowfall totals here in just a quick second. But I wanted to give you guys an overview of what we were going to be seeing over the next couple of days here. Now, as far as our snow potential goes and where we're going to be seeing our snow for the rest of the day here. Most of that snow, like I said, winding down for western North Carolina. There will be a little bit more accumulation potential as we go through the evening hours tonight and through mid tomorrow morning. But most of that accumulation going to be ongoing in northeastern North Carolina and portions of eastern Virginia. There will be that changeover to freezing rain and sleet over the afternoon hours here, as we could pick up anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch of ice down just south of the Raleigh metro area into Greenville, into Fayetteville there, and into portions of like Kitty Hawk Beach, as I was mentioning. But the heaviest snowfall bands will be setting up this afternoon across majority of eastern Virginia there. As we go through the rest of the day here, that snow does eventually start to taper off as we get towards the midnight hour of tonight and through tomorrow morning. Most of that working its way off the coast. Now, I did mention a potential heavier band of snow that could move in pretty quickly this evening into tonight and through tomorrow morning, back into portions of eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, and Virginia. This would be an additional maybe 1 to 2 inches of snowfall. This typically happens a lot when you've got a lot of cold air aloft with moisture on the backside. You can get that to change over to snow. So just something to be very, very mindful of as far as the overall time frame goes with this event. But most of this would be clearing out as early as basically Thursday evening. So as far as our snowfall potential goes here, we'll go to the rest of what we could see with our snowfall potential here. And the bigger, higher totals, like I said, are going to be off the coastline here. So basically looking at northeastern portions of North Carolina there and eastern portions of far extreme Virginia there. So Virginia Beach, as well as like Kitty Hawk, Cape Hatteras there, just something to kind of be mindful of. And then we do have that additional snow that can move in later on this evening, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches. As higher mountain areas seeing maybe an additional 3 to 5 inches of snow, maybe even a dusting of snow as far as western and central Kentucky and central Indiana and Illinois there. So also potentially going to see a little bit more snow accumulation this evening before is all said and done and over with. So I wanted to give you guys an update on that situation. As far as our snow totals have gone over the last couple of hours, we did kind of hit or miss with what our forecast originally was. Originally, the National Weather Service was forecasting a pretty good 10 to 12 inch swath of snow from southwestern Missouri into central Missouri and into eastern Missouri, and then crossing into Kentucky, we were expected to see 5 to 8. I think western Kentucky definitely saw the forecasted total snow amounts. Now, if you're down there in like Joplin, Springfield, I think you guys kind of underdone a little bit, which, if you don't like snow, good thing. If you do like snow, you still got about 5 to 8 inches of snow in most areas there. And some areas saw locally higher. Most of our higher totals were in southeastern portions of Missouri, where we could have seen anywhere from 8 to 12 inches of snowfall. You can see some of those 11 inch and 10 inch totals kind of mixed in there. As far as northern Arkansas went, we saw some 3 to 5 inch totals and some 5 to 8. Kansas definitely went to potential seeing from 5 to 8 inches of snow. And into central Kentucky and central Tennessee, we did see 1 to 3 inches of snow, mostly with some isolated 3 to 5 inches of spots. And then Kentucky as well, seeing, anywhere from 3 to 5 inches. More on the eastern side, we saw a little bit lower amounts. So just something to kind of be mindful of there if you wanted to update on the snowfall totals. Now, I want to talk to you guys briefly on what our jet stream is going to do. We've got a lot of changes that are going to be ongoing with our jet stream over the next couple of days, over the next couple of weeks here. And so, the models we're starting to show a pretty big warming trend going into March. We are going to see a warming trend next week. I think most people will be pretty decently warm next week. There will be some spots where there's some 40s and some 50s still, but I think some people will be in the 60s and 70s and possibly some 80s later next week. But some of the ensembles are hinting at another cold air mass that could be coming in late next week and then into that first and second week of March. So a little far out to still kind of figure that out, but I just want to give you guys a brief overrun of our jet stream, continuing to see this, what we call northwesterly to southeasterly flow, allowing for cold air to kind of move up and down. And like I said, you do see after Sunday here, we do get a little bit of a ridge that tries to develop with a low pressure system down in Texas. So we may have to watch for some type of low and severe weather risk, maybe this Saturday and Sunday potentially as we go towards the end of the week here. But then you see, like I said, a ridge build, and this is going to allow underneath of that ridge for temperatures to build. So this will be warm, dry air building. There will be some cold air to loft up here into portions of the Ohio Valley and into the mid portions of the Midwest here and northern high plains. And then we got another system to watch as we go towards Tuesday and Wednesday, possibly another snow system moving in late to mid next week here across the Ohio Valley. Some of the models are hinting at snow as far as potentially the Mississippi, Georgia, South Carolina line. That's, well far out. So we'll watch models to see what happens with that. But mostly going to be looking at any snow potential once again in the Midwest Ohio Valley, the same areas that just saw it today and yesterday. And then that system moves out and we get to the first week of March. And then March is once again hinting at the potential for more cold air to just kind of be locked in place there through that first week. So little still way far out as far as understanding and trying to figure out where that's going to be at, but we'll get closer and talk more about that late next week or at the beginning of next week once the models really start to trend and get an idea on that. Now I do want to show you guys as well our temperature anomalies here and what we're going to be seeing as well with those temperatures below average standards and where we're at right now. We can see very, very below average temperatures, anywhere from 25 to 40 degrees below average for portions of the central plains and southern plains, eastern Ohio Valley there in central Ohio Valley, looking at temperatures anywhere from 10 to 30 degrees below average. That's basically going to work its way east. As we get into the end of this week, we'll see warm air take over there for majority of next week. And then once again, possibly seeing a maybe low end snow chances in the southeast, maybe as we go towards the end of next week. Don't count on that, guys. That's probably going to change as we go through time. And then more cold air coming down as we start March off. It's kind of looks like the theme could potentially be, although this is over 300 hours out, so we take that with a grain of salt. One more thing I do want to show you guys before we wrap the video up here is going to be just the overall precip, what we're going to be seeing. You can see our snow showers, what's left of that system moving its way off the coastline there, rain down into Florida in the Georgia and South Carolina portion areas. And then we've got our other system up here in the northwestern Pacific that'll bring some snow into the Rocky Mountains and then kind of die out. High pressure dominating for the weekend here with that cold air still locked in place over majority of the United States, eastern wise and central wise. And then we start to see that warming trend as we go towards the beginning of next week. Really not looking at any major systems until about the end of next week. So Thursday, Friday, we'll have to watch for maybe some low end severe weather potential, maybe with as another potential Ohio Valley and northeast snowstorm again. And then past that point, we kind of get into the realm of uncertainty where we could maybe see some cold air and some potential for a snowstorm. I don't want to bang too much money on that right now because it's so far out. But other than that, guys, if you're out there and you're driving around, be safe, be cautious as always. We're seeing reports of crashes kind of across different states as far as people trying to get out. So give yourself extra time if you do have to step out the door. But other than that, we'll have our live stream tonight at 9:30 for updates. Other than that, guys, have a wonderful Wednesday.